Welcome. For those of you finding me for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Tabius Abry. It is my pleasure to help bring some of the notes from Aisha's early life. Before Avery, before the Stones, she gave me permission to share some of her notes with you. So, shall we continue? There are fragments from Aisha's early years that were not understood when they first occurred, only recognized much later. Let her own words, not of magic, not of things that many do not face, and many brush off as just imagination. But what if, like for Aisha, it is more than that?
Sometimes the first step isn't understanding, it's doing something you don't yet understand. I didn't hear the voice again the next night, or the night after that. The wind returned to being just wind. The branches, just branches. And yet, nothing felt the same. Because once something speaks to you, even once, you begin to listen for it. I told no one, not my parents, not my friends. Some things feel too strange to explain, too easy to be dismissed. So I carried it quietly, inside, waiting. And then, one night, it returned. Aisha. I didn't move this time. Didn't reach for the light. I'm here, I said. I remember. The room felt still, as though even the air was listening. You have done nothing, and yet everything has already begun. I frowned slightly, not afraid now, but uncertain. What do you want? There was no hesitation in the reply. This space is not right. You must change it. The words were simple, but they carried weight. I looked around my room. The same posters on the walls, the same scattered belongings, the small details of life that felt normal. Nothing looked wrong. And yet, something told me that the voice was right. But why? Silence. And then gently, I can't work here. Not like this. That wording stayed with me. Work. Not watching, not visiting. Work. As though it wasn't a moment, but the beginning of something. I sat there for a long time after the voice faded, looking around the room, seeing it somehow differently. What had felt familiar now felt cluttered, unclean, heavy. The next morning, I started to change it. Not dramatically, not all at once. I took down one thing, then another. I moved my bed, I cleared a space. It didn't make sense, not really. But it felt necessary. as though I was making room for something that I couldn't yet see, or someone. Days passed, the room slowly shifted, and with it, so did I. I felt calmer there, more aware, as though the space itself was changing how I felt inside. And then, on a night when the wind was quiet, the voice returned. Good. Now, we can begin. I didn't know what that meant. Not yet. But I had taken my first step into something I could no longer turn away from. From that night onward, something changed. I was no longer just dreaming. I was being taught. The voice told me I would remember my dreams, that I would not be alone, that I would learn not to be afraid. And then it said something I would carry for the rest of my life. Let the tigress within you wake. This was the beginning, not of adventure, not yet, but of awareness. Many people remember being afraid as children of the dark, of shadows, of sounds they can't explain. But what if some of those moments weren't imagination? In my case, that voice did not disappear. It returned, again and again. And over time, it led me somewhere, far beyond the walls of my room. And that is where things truly began to change.
What she did not yet understand was that this moment would not remain isolated. It would return in ways she could not yet see. Next time we will continue and hear what happened next.